If you played Fear and Hunger, you won't be surprised to hear that this game has a lot of Freudian themes. However, in this video I want to specifically focus on the gods, and more specifically, Sylvian and her husband Gro-goroth. One sec. Okay, Tails. Don't forget to hold shift and... fuck. Go Gandalf. Anyways, according to Freud, there are two fundamental and opposing forces that drive all human actions. The first is Eros, or the life drive. All acts of creation, connection with others, and even sustaining of life like eating are coming from Eros, and using libido, sexual energies, as fuel. According to this theory, even actions that are not sexual on the surface are using libido, for example designing a building or healing the sick. In the world of Fear and Hunger, like Eros, all actions of creation and sustaining of life come from Sylvian, because she is not only the goddess of lust, creation and life, she is those very concepts. Because Sylvian is a sentient being on top of that, a being that you can gain affinity with to gain magical powers, the connection between healing, for example, and sexuality are a lot more on the surface and undoubtedly real. Participating in a ritualistic orgy or even masturbating on a sigil of Sylvian can give you the power to close up wounds and even restore lost limbs. The opposing force to Eros is the death drive, or as it was called later on, Thanatos. Thanatos fuels acts of destruction and aggression, exactly like Gro-goroth in the universe of Fear and Hunger. Another interesting connection between Gro-goroth and Thanatos is that Thanatos fundamentally is a force of self-destruction, and therefore all acts of external destruction are misplacements of this force. Similar aspects of self-destruction can be seen in the ritualistic cannibalistic orgy in the first game. It is even said that the ritual will only stop when the last participant will try to eat himself and die from his wounds. On top of that, acts of self-harm will also gain you affinity with the god of destruction. The last topic I want to talk about in this video is the daughter of both Gro-goroth and Sylvian, Vanushka. The interesting thing about this god of nature is that she is a mix of both creation and destruction, both Eros and Thanatos, Sylvian and Gro-goroth. According to Freudian psychology, there are actions that use both libido and the force of the death drive. While we don't see any ritual to Vanushka in the game, I would assume that those rituals will mix both life and death, creation and destruction, like for example hunting. On one hand you're taking a life, Thanatos. On the other hand you're feeding yourself or feeding your family, Eros. From this perspective, the balance between death and life is a fundamental aspect of Vanushka. With those ideas established, I would like to propose a new theory to why Vanushka is diminished or even dead in the second game Fear and Hunger Termina. While Sylvian and Gro-goroth are said to be basically forgotten by most people by the time of Termina, I still think the aspects are still very present in the world and even more powerful than before. Think about it for a second. What is a better way to worship the god of death than total war? In the times of the recent war in Termina, the balance of power was heavily skewed towards destruction and Gro-goroth. On the other hand, after the war, things like rebuilding a city from the ground up and phenomena like baby boom skewed the balance of power towards life and Sylvian. It could be that those moves from extreme death and destruction to extreme life and creation disrupts the natural balance fundamental to Vanushka and therefore killing her. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was at least listenable, as I am not used to talking to a microphone or speaking English for that matter. As Freudian psychology in a lot of ways is more philosophy than science, there is a lot of room for different interpretations, so I'd like to hear your ideas about the subject. Thank you for stopping by the junkyard. Have a good day.